Episode 5 begins at the hospital, where Leonard regains consciousness and finds himself confused about where he is and what happened to him. He asks the doctors, "Where am I? What happened to me?" At that moment, Nandi, Vuyo, and Zinle arrive at the hospital and find Leonard awake. Leonard calls out to Nandi, thanking God as well. Leonard asks what is going on, and Nandi answers, "You were injured and in critical condition, but now you are stable." Leonard goes on to call his brother Vuyo and Zinle too, but Vuyo seems unimpressed by Leonard's recovery. Although Leonard has regained consciousness, his memory has not yet returned. While still around the hospital area, Vuyo steps outside to talk to someone on the phone, telling them that Leonard has woken up so they should continue pretending, just in case the arrest warrant is still active. We all know the danger involved. He hangs up. Inside the hospital, the doctor asks Leonard the last thing he remembers. Leonard answers that he remembers his daughter's 9th birthday. She was playing in the swimming pool and almost broke her arm. At that moment, Nandi enters the room. Nandi asks the doctor, "It has been 11 years. How is that possible?" The doctor replies that her husband is suffering from a condition known as transient global amnesia. Leonard tries to touch Nandi's hand, but she pulls away. When Nandi attempts to learn more about the condition, the doctor pulls her aside and tells her not to worry. Leonard's memory will return gradually. Nandi asks what they should do now, and the doctor replies that she should avoid stressing him or overwhelming him with too much information. She should remind him slowly without forcing anything. Zinle complains about her father forgetting her, but Vuyo comforts her by saying he will remember her gradually. However, Zinle is afraid that her father might remember the incident that caused him to be hospitalized. Nandi insists that Leonard should be taken home, while Vuyo argues that Leonard still has a case for shooting a police officer. Zinle responds sharply, accusing Vuyo of wanting Leonard imprisoned. Vuyo becomes angry and warns her not to talk to him that way. Meanwhile, Vilakazi remembers the death of his daughter Busisiwe while holding her picture. Suddenly, his phone rings. It's Nandi informing him that Leonard has woken up and has been diagnosed with amnesia. He remembers nothing from the past 11 years. Vilakazi pauses for a few seconds before asking Nandi, "Are you sure the doctors will cure him?" This is more than just an update. Nandi quickly responds, "Remember, you and I have a deal. I gave you the evidence against Vuyo, and you gave me my life back. If anything happens, clear Leonard's name." Vilakazi asks, "So you really want your husband back after everything that happened?" Nandi answers that it is Zinle who needs her father back. Vilakazi replies that he will see what he can do. It is Christmas Day. Vilakazi, dressed as Father Christmas, distributes gifts to children, with Precious also present and smiling. But her smile fades as she recalls a painful memory from the past, when Vilakazi insisted the children call out the name Busi Foundation. She drifts deep into the memory, not hearing anything around her until a nearby woman snaps her out of it. As Vilakazi and the children continue chanting Busi Foundation, Precious becomes overwhelmed with pain and decides to walk out. While on the road, Vuyo receives news that Leonard's case has been withdrawn, and it appears the order came from high authorities. Even the fingerprint evidence has been removed. This confuses Vuyo deeply. He suspects Vilakazi might be behind it, but how? Suddenly, he remembers Nandi's words when she insisted he stop pursuing the evidence against Vilakazi, and something she said shocks him. He quickly turns his car around and heads to the late Brenda's place. He arrives to find that the evidence files are gone from where they were stored, and he notices that the drink left in the glass has been consumed. Meanwhile, Filela is at home all dressed up, taking pictures and sending them to Nandi. At the same time, Nandi, back at home, receives a message on her phone. It's a picture of Filela with a tattoo of Nandi's name, showing how much Filela loves Nandi despite them both being women. Nandi ignores the message and pours herself a drink. Suddenly, Vuyo enters the room. Nandi tells him, "I didn't see you there, you scared me." Vuyo immediately asks Nandi where the evidence files went. Nandi asks, "What evidence?" Vuyo snaps angrily, saying, "The evidence against Vilakazi that you took from me." Nandi denies it and tells him she doesn't know what he's talking about. They're all on the same side and he should remember that. Vuyo insists, Please don't tell me you gave them to Vilakazi so Leonard could be freed. Don't tell me you've been that stupid. Give back what you stole from me." As Nandi tries to walk away, Vuyo grabs her arm. While Vuyo explains that the evidence was the only thing he had against Vilakazi, they begin to struggle. Nandi grabs a knife and threatens Vuyo. In anger, Vuyo smashes a bottle on the floor. Nandi warns Vuyo that he will have to live with the consequences because Leonard is free now, and Vuyo will lose everything. Nandi is now with her daughter, Zinle. Zinle tells her mother, "She googled amnesia and it says you're not supposed to remind the patient of disturbing events, so it's better if her father, Leonard, is not told that he is the one who stabbed her." Nandi agrees but asks, "But what if his memory comes back?" She assures her daughter that they will keep it a secret even if it shakes the love they built as a family. Elsewhere, Precious is seen intensely working out, haunted by a painful past event. She hits the punching bag with tremendous force. When she hears a knock on the door, she removes her gloves and answers. It's Jacob, dressed in a Father Christmas hat and smiling. He greets Precious and asks her to go out for a drink before the journalist arrives. Precious tries to refuse, but Jacob insists. It's Christmas. After much persuading, Precious finally agrees to go out with him. At the hospital, Leonard packs his things to return home. Nandi and Z visit him. Leonard tries to reach for Nandi's hand, but she reluctantly accepts without real affection. As they continue talking, Vuyo shows up. The charges have been dropped. He announces, "My brother, you're free now." Leonard is confused. "What do you mean?" Vuyo looks at Nandi and asks, "You didn't tell him?" It turns out Vuyo was joking, and later they head home, though Vuyo still feels uneasy. Meanwhile, Jacob and Precious, now closer due to their growing relationship, head to a bar to have fun. After parking the car and walking toward the bar, two young men suddenly surround them. One grabs Precious by the neck while the other negotiates with Jacob. Quickly, Jacob acts, fighting both attackers. Precious, also not weak, fights back, and together they overpower the men who flee after being defeated. Leonard finally arrives home after several years in a coma. Everything in the house feels unfamiliar. Slowly, they begin to remind him of certain things to help restore his memory, as he has forgotten everything. He doesn't even remember that he is a judge and is surprised at how they managed to afford such a luxurious mansion. After some conversations, Vuyo, who has barely spoken, asks to get himself a drink. Back at the bar, Precious and Jacob continue drinking. Jacob wonders how Precious managed to deliver such strong kicks while wearing high heels. Surely she must have learned kickboxing. Precious confirms. She asks, "Where did Jacob learn to fight?" Jacob replies that life itself taught him, as he has gone through many hardships. Just before Jacob kisses Precious, his phone rings. He receives news that his mother has suffered another episode. He asks Precious to accompany him. Meanwhile, Filela tries to call Nandi, but her phone is off. She is instructed to leave a voicemail. Furious, Filela jumps over Nandi's fence and enters her house. Nandi and her family are having dinner, unaware that someone has secretly entered. As they continue eating and joking, Vuyo becomes uneasy as memories begin to return. Filela sneaks inside and hides among the flowers. She moves deeper into the house. Filela loves Nandi deeply and suffers from it, even though they're both women. The prison moments she shared with Nandi haunt her. Leonard stands up to thank them for bringing him back to life. Jacob arrives at his mother's house and finds her in a terrible state. She appears disturbed and unstable. While Jacob comforts her, Precious approaches slowly, remembering an incident from the past similar to what the mother is experiencing now. Tears gather in Precious's eyes. Back at Nandi's home, Z thanks her father for being a good dad. But at the table, Vuyo still looks unsettled. As they continue drinking wine, Filela roams around the rooms without fear. Love is driving her mad. While searching the drawers, she finds diamond necklaces she remembers seeing on someone at the underground dirty club where she planned to kill Vilakazi. She realizes that the person wearing them that night was Nandi. Enraged, Filela pulls out a small knife from her waist. Meanwhile, Vuyo leaves the dining table after joking with Leonard. As Jacob and Precious return home, Jacob explains his mother's condition, that sometimes she is stable and other times confused. Precious asks, how long has she been this way? Jacob replies that it has been since his father died. Precious remembers Vilakazi's words. Back at Leonard and Nandi's home, Nandi is in the kitchen when Leonard approaches her, saying that her voice is what brought him back. He heard it spiritually. As Leonard tries to get close romantically, Nandi moves away and asks Z to go out with her. Filela is hiding nearby. Meanwhile, Jacob and Precious grow even closer as their love strengthens. Nandi and Z are at a bar having drinks and talking. Zinlei asks her mother to restore her relationship with Leonard so they can be a happy family again. She asks Nandi whether she still loves Leonard. She hesitates but answers, "I love him, to some extent, yes." A few minutes later, Zinlei asks to go to the bathroom. As she washes her hands, Filela suddenly appears behind her, holding a small knife.
Our episode 5 ends here. Thank you for continuing to follow this wonderful and thrilling film. Dear viewer, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share when necessary to support me in bringing you more and more of these recaps. Thank you very much. See you in episode 6. Stay tuned.